What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA playoffs, Tuesday, June 22nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an NBA showdown between the LA Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. So let's take a look at the point guard position. So Kawhi Leonard is out for the Clippers, and Chris Paul is out for the Phoenix Suns. So a lot of these picks are going to be due to those players being out. So let's start with Reggie Jackson from the LA Clippers playing the Phoenix Suns. Reggie Jackson, he scored 35, 54, and 33 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 39, 37, and 36 minutes. He's projected at 33 fantasy points here tonight. Now Vegas thinks there's going to be 225 points scored in this game, so I like Reggie Jackson here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, now if you're looking for a sleeper pick here at the point guard position, he's pretty much minimum salary. Take a look at Rajon Rondo from the LA Clippers. He scored 25 fantasy points in 22 minutes last game. He hasn't played for a while, but if he can get some minutes here, I think he could be an interesting sleeper pick. He's definitely a high risk, high reward play because we don't know how many minutes he's going to play here tonight, but he's projected at 17 fantasy points. So I like Rajon Rondo as a high risk, high reward tournament play here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. With Kawhi Leonard out, of course, you gotta like Paul George from the LA Clippers. He averaged 40.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 30% usage rate. He scored 54, 54, and 68 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 38, 45, and 40 minutes. He's projected at 53 fantasy points here tonight, so I like Paul George here versus the Phoenix Suns. Okay, now with Chris Paul out, you gotta like Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns. He's averaging 37.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 33% usage rate. He scored 70, 53, and 40 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 43, 41, and 40 minutes. So monster minutes, and his usage rate was 37% last game. So he's getting a bump in his usage rate with Chris Paul out. He's the man. He's a good captain alongside of Paul George. I think both of these guys make fantastic captains here tonight. He's projected at 47 fantasy points. So I like Devin Booker here versus the LA Clippers. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Macau Bridges from the Phoenix Suns playing the LA Clippers. Macau Bridges, he averaged 26.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game with a 15% usage rate. He scored 27, 28, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 35, 36, and 26 minutes. So I like to see that he played 35 minutes last game. That gives him plenty of opportunity to rack up those fantasy points. He could score over 30 fantasy points here tonight, but he is projected at 26.6 fantasy points here tonight. I think he's going to score closer to 30, so I like Macau Bridges here versus the LA Clippers.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard.
You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the position optimizer where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new player trends tool where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, now if you're looking to save some salary here, take a look at Cameron Johnson from the Phoenix Suns. Cameron Johnson has averaged 17.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 24 minutes per game with a 17% usage rate. He scored 23 fantasy points last game. He played 24 minutes, and he's projected at 22 fantasy points here tonight. He's going to be one of those low salary players that has got some upside if he can play over 20 minutes. So I like Cameron Johnson here versus the LA Clippers. Okay, who do we have at the power forward position? You know what? Not really much that I like here. I guess the two players, if you want to go there, would be Jay Crowder from the Phoenix Suns or Marcus Morris from the LA Clippers. But I do think there's better options on the slate for that salary range, other places to use your salary. So I'm going to pass on those two guys, but that's who I'm looking at for the power forward position. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like DeAndre Ayton from the Phoenix Suns playing the LA Clippers. DeAndre Ayton has averaged 33.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 31 minutes per game with an 18% usage rate. He scored 33, 25, and 31 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 36, 33, and 36 minutes. He's projected at 34.1 fantasy points here tonight, so I like DeAndre Ayton here versus the LA Clippers. Okay, now if you're looking for a deep sleeper pick, this is super risky, but he did score 18 fantasy points in 13 minutes last game, and he is minimum salary or close to it. So take a look at DeMarcus Cousins from the LA Clippers. He averaged 22.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 17 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. And he scored 18 fantasy points last game, played 13 minutes, but in those 13 minutes, he had a 46% usage rate. So if he can get 15 to 20 minutes in this game, I think he's going to crush value. He's projected at 17 fantasy points here tonight. Now, we just don't know how many minutes he's going to play, so he's a high risk, high reward, tournament play only. But I like DeMarcus Cousins here versus the Phoenix Suns.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.